Hey everyone, Gardner here. All right, it is Monday. Of course, I am back here, Facebook Live, after an amazing weekend, amazing Super Bowl. For those of you who caught it, it's great to see. I won't get into my Tom Brady worship right now. I want to share with you something else. um, Today, gang. Today, Monday. Fuck me sideways. Sorry, it's just been a day. It's been a hellish day for me, a hellish day, and I say that with all transparency because not every day is rainbows and unicorns, right? And I'm a coach that advocates being transparent and not living behind smoke and mirrors, like some people that we see online that things are always freaking tuned in and dialed in and yeah, blah blah blah. So what I want to share with you today, though, I'm actually feeling good now, but the rest, for most of the day, I had my head up my ass 3 ways from Sunday. Ignorance on fire. So my colleague brought this to my attention this morning, and it landed with me, and it sat with me, and it festered with me all flipping day. I was just in an off day today, feeling anxious, feeling unsure, feeling or having lack of clarity, feeling melancholy, if you will, down, uninspired action. And I had to, through this ignorance on fire mindset that we discussed, I had to reconnect to some times in my past where I kind of blindly charged into whatever I was doing, damn the consequences. And an ignorance, and yet not from an egoic standpoint, but more of, I got to get shit done. And, there isn't a plan B. And as you know, as most of you know, I always go all in everything. And of course that has burned me sometimes. And yet I've always come out the other side better. And so, yeah, I was having a James Gardner pity party today. And then slowly I sat with myself. I sat outside of myself as the coach and I said, okay, well, let's look at the last 5 weeks. Let's, and I have it right here below my camera, ignorance on fire. I have it. It's been staring at me all flipping day. And what does that mean? What does that mean? So I looked, I said, okay, well, I talk about assess and reassess all the time. So I assessed, I looked at the last 5 weeks. It's been 5 weeks. It's been 5 weeks of me really stepping out here, ignorance on fire. Tony Robbins always says, you're going to take the island, you burn the fucking boats, quote unquote, burn the effing boats, right? It's the same thing. Ignorance on fire. I'm going all in. So I sat with the last 5 weeks and I made a list of things. And this is not to toot my horn, if you will, but I sat with the shit that I got done in the last 5 weeks. So in the last 5 weeks, my website's been built. I'm looking at my list because I can't even keep it all straight. I built a back-end system for my business. I onboarded clients. So I actually have an active client roster right now that's generating me revenue. I've created 2 future programs that are launching. One now, one at the end of the month. The one now is almost max, not quite, but we have people in it, and it's amazing. I'm writing a flipping book. Every day I wake up and I write. I booked a huge speaking gig for April. I have 3 podcast spots for the rest of the month that I'm going to be a guest on. I am currently, and this has been an interesting up level of myself. The last day and a half or 2 days, I've really been getting into creating this proposal for this huge company in Vancouver. It's a huge client. And I need to show up with my A+ game. And so I've been working on that. I went and looked at a co-work space downtown Vancouver so I can go in and have meetings in Vancouver and just get back into that city blood, that city heartbeat that I need to have in my soul. I've had a shit ton of fun talking to you on the other line, and I even got a flipping lip sync in. I was pressured, but I got a lip sync in. So my point is I sat down and I wrote this shit out, and I'm like, holy F, I got a lot of stuff done in 5 weeks. Yeah, ignorance on fire. And sometimes no one's going to pick us up but ourselves and our mindset. And it's okay to have those days where we need to flow a little bit more. We need to ease. We need to recover. Today wasn't one of those days. It was just a day of being stuck. There was no inspiration behind the action. And so for me, there was a misalignment somewhere. I just couldn't get connected to what I was doing. And so as I sat down and sat with the last 5 weeks of what I've been working on, I could feel my units of joy and my units of fire just starting to pulsate again in me, like just stoking that furnace. And so now at the, coming out the other end, I mean, we're almost at, 4:45 PST time here, but I've come out of that kind of doldrum of stagnation. And now I got my 6-shooters on my hip, and I'm flying double barrels here. So all that to say, each of you, I know I'll speak for you because I know you've been there where you've felt stuck, you felt unclear, you felt unsure about things. That is part of the process. And many of us have tools, have tips, tricks that we use to kind of get us through that obstacle to the other side, where there is then more inspired action in the next step. And so this was a useful reminder to me that was spurred on by a conversation with a colleague and with a close supporter of mine. And so I'm very blessed for that conversation. And I'm blessed for the inspired act. No, sorry. I'm very blessed for the uninspired action that happened today, because it was like a pebble in my shoe that I couldn't get rid of. And finally, I just said, fuck this. I took my shoe off. I banged it against the table a few times. I put it back on, and now I'm ready to run a marathon. You have that ability too. And sit with yourself. Sit with yourself, assess. There's just the power of looking back sometimes. I swear. So ignorance on fire. And it's a good thing. Ignorance on fire. Light it. Running off the dock, jumping for the boat. Whether you're going to make it or not, you're committed to the act. And that's how I felt today. I'm kind of like in midair. I've leapt, and I'm like, OF, am I going to be like Wile E. Coyote off the cliff? Right. Or am I going to continue on like the Roadrunner? So I just wanted to share that with you today. I don't know. Well, I trust there's something in there that each of you can pull away. Your shield moment takeaway for this is to ask yourself, where can I burn the boats? Where do I need to burn the boats in my life, in my work, in my relationship? Where do I need to commit, go all in, and do so with a flaming heart? All right. There you go. Mad love to the courageous. I love you guys. Have an amazing rest of the week. I'll be back in, of course, this week. And I got to say it. Tom Brady, the greatest of all time. Here endeth the lesson. Period. 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 I don't want to hear any debate ever again. I feel like you can't. So cheers to an amazing career, and here's to an amazing rest of the week for you all. All right. Cheers.